I'm returning to the land where I was born to find answers to questions that have haunted me all my life. People have disappeared and not come back.
There was a trial.
For 21 years, Imelda and Ferdinand Marcos held the country in the grip of what was called a conjugal dictatorship.
And he can strike me dead right now. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth.
My family was also affected by these historic events when we were forced into exile. My mother was a young journalist when she decided to write a book about Imelda Marcos. She thought it was going to be a celebrity story because Imelda was a former beauty queen. As First Lady, Imelda loved to party with the rich and famous. She had expensive tastes, dressed like royalty, and accumulated an infamous collection of jewels and, of course, shoes.
Imelda was a star. She was just everybody's darling, beautiful, tall. They were calling her the Jacqueline Kennedy of the Philippines. And I said, yeah, write the book on Imelda Marcos. She's very popular. That would be a bestseller.
When my mother dug deeper than the surface, she found that Imelda's version of the past was a tissue of lies, that she was covering up a story of poverty and of ambition denied.
In my search for people who knew her, there was one source who said, what do you want to write about? He said, there are two books. One is a red book and one is a blue book. If you want to know the truth, this is the red book. If you want to know a lie, this is the blue book.
My mother discovered that Imelda had largely fictionalized her biography. Her father, though educated, failed to make money. So Imelda was raised in poverty, not great wealth, as she wanted people to think.
If somebody asked her, well, what is Imelda's profession? She used to say, mining. That's mine, that's mine,
That's
mine.
the joke. She never said it herself. She didn't really say that.
But that's true.
When Imelda heard about the book, security men from the presidential palace abducted a woman who provided a lot of my mother's information. She was my nanny, and they took her while she was bringing me to nursery school. They forced her to sign a statement retracting her story. My mother's response was my first lesson in journalism.
I could never look again in the mirror and see myself and said, you didn't publish the book. I would be a coward.
But sensing real danger, my parents made a fateful choice. Like thousands of others, they fled into exile with the 4 of us children in tow. Good afternoon, Mrs. Marcos. One of the most important reasons for this journey home was so that I could confront Imelda myself and ask her to account for her family's rule. After weeks of refusing us an interview, we decided to ambush her at Congress to find out why she hasn't apologized and, in fact, defends her husband's record. How would you like to mark your husband's rule?
I think it was the greatest. It was really anchored when Marcos became president. We had no freedom, sovereignty, justice, democracy.
In the end, she let us into her office for what we thought would be just a few minutes of interview time. But she kept us there for an hour and a half.
And this is the story of the Marcoses. Use power for peace. Yes. Use beautiful love. Peace and love together is infinity. And this is forwarded by the greatest mathematician of the century, because he said this is this is mathematically perfect, this ideology and theology.
There is a sense that she is slightly unhinged. But I still needed to ask her why she persecuted my family and so many others during martial law. People have disappeared and not come back.
No. There was a trial.
Mrs. Marcos, what about my family? Remember, my mother wrote a book about your early childhood life, and you didn't have a good reaction to it at the beginning.
I did not have any reaction because many of them was not true. My father was not impoverished. My father was a doctor of laws.
Look at me. I'm one person who...
I'm looking at you. Don't worry.
I had one person, I am one person whose life was changed as a result of the martial law because my mother dared to write a book about you personally. Perhaps I am even representative of many people who would like to talk to you, to say, recognize what really happened
But after
to
you
us.
have written that, did I ever confront you or your mother? Never. Never. After that was written, so many books have been said about me, written about me. Did I confront anybody or slap their faces or kick them or kill them? No. There is divine justice. I am a believer. I don't even wish confidentially in my heart evil to those people who did us so much harm and pain. No.
My mother showed me a picture of you meeting with Ninoy Aquino just a couple of months before his assassination.
A month or two.
Did you know anything about the assassination before it happened?
No. And there was no reason. What for? I like Ninoy. I knew even Ninoy before I met Marcos.
But he's dead. He's dead under your rule, under the Marcos rule. May I ask you to look in your heart and look at
I'm
the
not
life
only
that
looking
you
in my
have
heart.
led?
I'll look at God. I'll look straight at God. And He can strike me dead right now. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. Marcos was a man of peace.
He enriched himself, didn't he?
How
You
could he
were
was
enriching
rich.
yourselves.
He was rich. He was rich when he and I got married. In fact, before he became president, he was number 4. And you can see that in an interview in the Reader's Digest. He was number 4 in the payment of taxes.
But Mrs. Marcos, isn't it true that $10 billion of the Philippine treasury money went missing?
That's not true. That's not true. Because then I should have been in jail already. I'll show you the documents.
Where is the money, though, madam? It's okay, you don't need to show.
But we have not stolen any money. We were the one who were very... One moment.
We expected to see some sort of evidence of her innocence. Instead, Imelda showed us volumes filled with nostalgic mementos of her glory days. This one says Libya.
This is Libya. This is with the 29 countries of the world.
And this
of
is
the Islamic Conference.
And this is you with Saddam
With
Hussein.
Saddam. So, and if you saw the documentary they did, Imelda Marcos conquers Iraq.
But there weren't any pages about her humiliating escape to exile, driven out by the fury of the Philippine people. Ferdinand Marcos died in exile. His remains are now preserved in a mausoleum in his home province of Ilocos Norte, where he's considered a hero. When you go to Ilocos and you see your husband there, what do you think of? What goes through your head?
Every time I go there, I thank the Lord. Lord, thank you for giving me the privilege of being by the side of a man touched by God. When they asked me, and I was truthful about it, if you had something on your tombstone, he said, what would it be? I said, here lies love. Because, it's funny. It's wonderful to be loved, but it is more wonderful to have someone to love. And if you have love, you can conquer everything.
There's worse to come.
The gun is...
As for Imelda and me, she'd rather we part without any bitterness and set her eccentric charm on at full blast.
Let us save the world. The Muslims are nice people. They are great. Even arithmetic, so many things were started by them. And more than that, Islam is peace.
Thank you.
Take this.
Thank you.
And we had no intention of imprisoning you or what. Believe you me, God
Okay.
knows this. God knows. Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that went on for way longer than I expected it to, and I found myself feeling much sorrier for Mrs. Marcus than I had expected. I mean, there were moments when I was furious with her, for I think she truly believes the things that she said to us. Some of it was plainly nonsense. Some of it, I think, was a person towards the end of her life trying to make sense of it. Somebody who came from very specific circumstances. I must say I feel tired, a little exhausted. There were moments when I felt close to tears and even nauseous. Strange.